So, good day, Ottawa Valley, world, the internet. It's 8 February. It's a balmy 4 or 5 degrees Celsius out. Don't ask me what that is in Fahrenheit. Nice and warm where I come from. We just crawled out of a gruesome polar vortex. It was some cold. It was minus 30s for sure. Come on, Joe. And with wind, it dipped into the minus 40s, which in Fahrenheit, I don't know, minus 10 Celsius is cold. Things freeze at 0. 20 degrees is really darn cold. Minus 30 degrees Celsius is just deadly. Minus 40s, it happens. It's the end of the world. Horrible, absolutely horrible. Come on. And we spun right around and we're in the pluses now. It's insane, the extremes. And that's how it goes in the Ottawa Valley, one extreme to another, like a lot of places, I guess. But we can get cold winters, a whole mix of winter, and we can get some extremely hot summers. It's kind of crazy. Jock, get over here. Quit lagging behind. Come on. Good boy. We're back from Panama, obviously, and crawling out of the winter blues. It didn't take long to get there with that terrible cold weather. I also went cross-country skiing once during my holidays on a Saturday. My knee seems to be able to handle that. No impact, I guess. But yeah, it turned really cold, so I only got out once. I'd like to get out again. Not going to video that. Watching somebody cross-country ski is not the most exciting thing. Not the most exciting thing to do, but it's good exercise. It's good for the head. You're out in the quiet. So anyway, to try and get out of the house, I still had leave holidays left after Panama. So I have this Husky weird snow machine that tows a Pelican sled, and I took it out to a place called the Swisha, a little island that's part of Quebec, separates Ontario and Quebec. Further on up the Ottawa River, going west, about 45 minutes west of Petawawa, and I just wanted to explore it again. I'll tell you all about it later. I couldn't get in depth in the village very much because there was snow on the roads is starting to melt, and with the Husky sled, you're towing a Pelican sled, plastic, you don't want to grind everything off. Anyway, I toured around and checked it out. I'll show you. Interesting little place. And I think the day after, I went ice fishing, attempted ice fishing. Very undisciplined ice fisherman. Went 20 kilometers south of Pembroke and into the interior to the edge of Algonquin Park and tried my hand at a little lake there for some brook trout, or speckled trout as they're called. No luck, no patience. This coming weekend, my colleague and I, who's a much more disciplined fisherman than I am, we might go out early in the morning and try and get some sort of trout in these little lakes. It's supposed to be beautiful out, so we'll see what we get. Anyway, enjoy the video, and thanks for the support, thanks for the subscriptions, and yeah, the Americans again, probably the most. I'll have to find some more abandoned vehicle thingies to show you. That seems to be what you like to watch. You might be waiting until spring though. All right, take care, enjoy. So Swisha, a little history here, was a well, in the very early days, the fur trapping days, the exploring days, like Champlain, maybe Radisson was through here. This was a portage across the island. There might even be a road with a name related to portaging, because this was all rapids and waterfalls in here. So you had to portage across here to keep going, and the next set of rapids was at Du Riviere further upriver, and they've been flooded out because of these dams. So you have at the other end of the Swisha Island, you can drive to,
but it is gated off. The McConnell Dam, which is a diverter dam to divert water downstream to the main hydroelectric dam, the Ralston Dam. Built in maybe about 1950, it got online, and it's been providing, they brag, clean, reusable energy for all those years. Questionable on the clean when you dam a river and you stop the natural flow of water. There are repercussions for that, but we're not going to get into that. So this channel might have been a trickle at one time. I guess it's always been an island. It's probably been carved a little more. So what you do is you come off Highway 17 at Ralston, go down the Swisha Road, and you cross one of the few remaining one-lane steel bridges into this tiny little village. Now this place really got established when they in the 1800s, when things started to take off with heavy logging and the great big white pines that they'd send over to Europe. This place got really big, and it would host a dock, not a harbor, but a dock for steamboats between Pembroke and the Swisha. So a little village developed, and there is a couple of old cemeteries, probably Catholic and Protestant, where you can see a lot of old names dating back a long time ago. This spare spot here is a Commonwealth plywood mill. It used to be the Papineau Mill. It was closed up many years ago. Commonwealth has re-established a mill here and has been advertising for jobs, actually, about 60 or so jobs. And it's going to make a little bit of resurgence on this island, because the proper village here is right here. There's old places, log places, abandoned places. There's, back in the day, used to be 2 hotels, 2 taverns, and they were pretty wild. They would host a lot of crazy lumberjacks that would come out of the hills on the weekends and party their checks away and get in fights and stuff. Bit of a lawless place back in the day. And it's small, so there is no police force. It's the only Quebec community between Sheenborough, Chapeau, across from Pembroke, all the way up. It's the only Quebec community. It's pretty isolated, so police have to come from Campbell's Bay, the Surette de Quebec police. They have to drive on the Ontario side, obviously, because they can't drive through the bush here in these rough roads, to come and police this place. But it's not as wild and crazy as it used to be. The hotels were long closed. The one when you first come into town has been bought up, and it's a bit of an inn now and a restaurant, and you can rent rooms. So it's a great place to come fishing, skidooing, rent these rooms in this neat old hotel that was built in the very early 1900s, maybe even started in the 1800s, been added onto. So it's a twisty old place, but it's pretty cool. And with this mill reopening, it's going to bring a little bit of life back into this place. And the people that bought the old hotel will probably be off to a good start. So it's good to see. There's the dam. Swisha. It's getting overgrown. You can't see the dam so well from the highway nowadays. So here is the one-lane steel bridge, and there's not many of these left around anymore. And this will take you to the Joachim Bridge, the Rapide de Joachim, or the Swisha as it's nicknamed. So you got to kind of hold up there and make sure nobody's coming the other way. Whoever gets here first gets the right of way. Let's just stop here. This is the channel that comes out of the main dam and heads out to the main Ottawa River channel, and then up river that way further is the
Got a car behind me. It's the McConnell Dam, which is the diverter dam. I'm gonna get this guy out of this guy's way. So obviously it's Quebec, the island's Quebec. When you cross the, they have a significant bridge in the interior. It's a concrete bridge. You have to have a Quebec fishing license or hunting license. Then it's broken down into ZECs or zones, and you have to have a ZEC license too. Adds up, I guess, but you've got primo fishing and hunting, that's for sure. Nice old wooden cottage there. Gonna do a little drive-by of the what's it called? Pointe-aux-Pins Lodge, which is the old hotel. These are the old cabins that are up here. I don't know if they brought those back online or not. It's awful overgrown in there. I suspect not. So this was bought recently, last year or the year before, and it doesn't look like it's open for the winter. Looks like it's going to be a summertime only thing. Well, that's a shame. I thought it would be open because they've reopened the mill on the island, the lumber mill. Just a tiny little village. It's got one gas station, which they're lucky to have. You can buy your alcohol right in the store in Quebec. And because it's so remote, it also has a SAQ liquor store. Some little places have been brought back online and made to be cottages. Some are still abandoned. Interesting. So there's some skidoo trails and stuff around. There's lots of snow. I'm gonna park this thing somewhere, go for a ride. Here's where the other old hotel used to be, and I had been in that back in the day. Party Inn. It was a rougher one. Now it's, I guess, apartments. Pretty yucky. This old church is not a church anymore. There's a character owns this. I was talking to him at one time. He said he was going to do something with it, but I kind of have my doubts. We'll see. I think he was going to make an inn or something. So fortunately with the Husky, I will not be restricted just to roads. I can get on trails, I can cut across from one side of the island to the other side, and I will just try and get some shots and maybe a little more detail of what we got here. It's very tiny. You get the odd property that's for sale here, and it's probably dirt cheap. I mean, if you wanted a summer getaway, even if it wasn't right on the water's close. You could probably find a neighbor or something to keep your boat moored at. Or maybe the lodge, the Pointe-aux-Pins Pines Lodge, has slips maybe that they would rent out. So I have seen some lots for sale here and there, but I haven't seen any proper homes for sale. This one's been empty for a long time. Nice trailer, in good shape. It's got a big shop, just fabulous place to live if you're just a couple or single. Maybe you take a job at the mill and you live in the Swisha. I'm gonna park right here. Nothing saying I can't. Yeah. Or, you know what? No trespassing, danger. It's all plowed in. I'm better off parking here. Nobody's gonna be driving in here. All right, unloading time. So there it is, the Husky Made in Canada. 13 horse Honda engine. They make them out of Toronto. You can order them online. Similar one is the Snow Dog. They are kind of a Russian design originally, but you can buy them in Canada too. More in the States, they have a Briggs & Stratton engine. I'm more partial to Honda myself. Bogey wheels. No sliders to wear out, but there are sliders on the Pelican sled, so you need snow on the roads if you're going to be on the roads. You need snow wherever you're going to be. You go on the roads, you'll wear those sliders off like nothing. You don't need a registration, you don't need a plate, you don't even need to insure them. Be wise to put it under your house insurance. But you cannot be really on sanctioned skidoo trails that people pay memberships for and groom, unless you're trying to get to a lake to go ice fishing. It's a perfect ice fishing rig. Just going for a ride today, just getting out, giving it a test run. Did a little bit of paint touch up and a track adjustment. So basically gonna see how it works today. Let's go in the village. Little cabins up on the hill. I hope they fix them up and bring them back online. Now, back in the day, this was the old hotel that Cactus used to frequent when he was up visiting people he knew in Deep River and area. This is the Ottawa River. In the summer you can find docks down here and a boat launch over there. It's a really nice area. It'd be kind of neat to live here. It's just a little far from everything. About 20 minutes, 25 minutes from Deep River, where you get groceries. 40 minutes from Pembroke. So this place was purchased not too long ago. Last year or the year before. And this was a rockin' hotel. Live bands. I guess they had rooms back in the day. Food. I thought it would be open because it's been newly purchased and the mill's been reopened. We're gonna go check out the mill and see if there's any activity there, see if they got it online yet. So I figured this would be open and serving food and maybe rooms to mill executives or whatever, but I guess not. So I showed you a bit of the village just driving around the van, but I'm gonna put my mitts on and go for a good ride and explore the island a bit. So I won't be able to hold this camera the whole time. So far so good. Seems to be running nice. Might have to get my my expert ice fishing colleague from work this weekend and hit up a lake, get some nice trouts. Okay, out for now. I just got waved down on the road back here by Brent, a retired nuclear guy that worked at our local Canadian nuclear laboratories in Chalk River. He's retired. He lives on the island of Swisha. This is the island, this is the mainland over here. And Brent just told me to check out a trail on the mainland that goes to some chutes, a creek that has some nice waterfalls. Normally there's a shack here that controls the ZEC, the zones, where you got to sign in and show your passes, whatever, but it's not manned in the winter, so no problem. We're gonna go over there and check it out. It's a beautiful day. Nice and warm. Nice scenic. Very pretty. Very perfect. Very slow in the driveway. Yeah. Lots of logs coming out of them there mountains. Nice big pine trees. Look at them dragging on the road. Good grief. That means it's going to the new mill. It's not hitting the highway. The highway Trans-Canada 17. So here's the shack. Important for fishing or hunting in the ZEC. Rapid Yoking, you need an annual permit or a daily permit. Depending on the activity that you do, the SO and let's say Swisha sells the ZEC permits. To the gas station back in town. Now I don't know if you're just coming here to ATV, dirt bike, just explore, that you need a pass or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. I would tend to think no, because it's free country and it's not a provincial park. But if you're fishing or hunting, well, of course, that's all regulated. Fair enough. Now, is this what he's talking about? Very pretty. He said the name of this creek, I forget already. The chutes, he called it. Yeah, it drops quite a bit. Maybe there's a better view over there. But I can't go there, there's too much snow. I can't tell what's safe and what's not. Somebody's gone this far. It looks like it goes this way and that way. Wow, what a nice day. Temperature's great. There's nice fluffy snow. Well, we'll venture further up the trail, and he said it pops back out on the road eventually. We'll see if there's more significant waterfall. Nice clear water. Cool. So yeah, the wilderness has regenerated all up north there, and all kinds of spots. Logging's back on pretty hardcore. Lots of logging trucks, gonna have to be careful. Up for now. Well, I just took crap from Mr. Pat, who is the Ontario contractor who plows the roads here in Swisha. He says my van is in the way and that people are getting stuck and can't get around the corner. I think he's right out of her. Fair enough, I'll move it. I'm not gonna argue. But I got nowhere to go. I'm gonna have to load up and relocate everything here. Damn. All right, we're gonna go for another ride. This is the mill that they have taken over and redone. And as I recall, in a newspaper article, they were looking for like 60 people or so. There's the weight scale for the logs. There's the shack. That would be the mill proper over here, the mill building. I don't hear a lot of noise going on. So not a lot of buildings and stuff, but enough going on that it employs a lot of people, a lot of truck drivers, mill workers. You know, you're gonna have a cook. I was told that the camp, the bunkhouses, which I was hoping to see, it's way over there on the other side of the hill. I'm gonna see if I can come up from the other side, get a look. They were pretty derelict before. Last year did a walkthrough, or the year before maybe, and things were starting to look pretty crumbly, as if they were getting close to being tore down. But I guess they fixed it all up. Surely they have a camp cook. Patrick was saying that it's a dry camp, no alcohol except for whatever they inevitably are going to smuggle in. So yeah, here it is. I'm gonna go down this road to the maybe to the diverter dam. It's kind of far, or maybe not that far, and I'm gonna try and take a trail. Pat said there's a trail goes across to the other road, which brings you back to the main channel of the Ottawa over there in those hills. See if I can come up on the other side. He says not, there is no trail to go up there. There's another road, but not recommended with logging trucks. He said be less concerned about the trucks not being able to stop, but more so the logs that hang off the back. As I pointed out, when they're not going on the highway, they let them stick right out and almost drag on the road. And it's when they turn and flip around that they could catch you and take your bloody head off. So, let's go for a ride. See what we can see. Swisha, the island of Swisha, active again, active mill. Maybe if you're interested, you could find a cheap house here and work at the mill. You never know. Keep in mind, these places never last. They're always a temporary, short-lived thing. As I said, I think the forest is regenerated back there and all these different tracks. I mean, it always looks like this, but back where they log in certain spots is regenerated over the decades, and it's time to harvest again, I guess. On we go! Husky! So we went down to the diverter dam and couldn't find a trail across. So we came back up the road. That's the road right there where I was talking to Pat again, where the mill is. The mill is down there, that way. I came back and there's this cut-through trail. A very old trail, I would venture to guess. Back in the day, this was probably the original footprints of portagers, fur traders, explorers, Champlain, maybe Radisson, and many others, indigenous tribes, peoples. I bet you this is an original old path to transcend the island away from the rapid side where the village is, where the rapids used to be, and the other interior bridge, to the other side of the main channel, which because of the dams and the flooding they call Holden Lake, part of the Ottawa River. So I could be right out of her, but this is my educated guess. That's one hell of a long portage. It would probably be 3 or 4 kilometers, 5 miles long portage. So hopefully you don't have a lot of gear and you can carry your rucksack and your canoe either by yourself or with your partner. So we're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna come around the back side of the mill. Pat said there was no trail going up to it, but I do see a skidoo trail going up a steep old road. It's not plowed. I might try that and just show you the other side of the mill where the bunkhouses are and the repair shop and things. All right, let's get there. Hey, old Husky. Gorgeous day, gotta tell you. Really nice day. I'm enjoying my time off. It's my last week of holidays and back to work. So that way for the portage, here we have a road. Get my bearings here. Where am I? That's pretty well maintained road. I'm not 100% sure where I am. It's got like full-on rocks that they're spreading down here for traction for these logging trucks. I will wreck my Pelican sled if I drive on this, so I'm going to stick to the trail. So that's about it for the day in quiet old Swisha, folks. Rapid de Joachim. That's Swisha. We're going to wrap it up. Kind of a short day. Got some neat rides in. Across the river is endless amounts of trails and logging roads and bush roads. It's worth an explore someday on an ATV. This was pretty cool though. Quiet little village. Be a neat place to live. Look for this place in the summertime. Hopefully it's open. It's a little rotten, needs a lot of work. But hey, if you're up here fishing, hunting, and it's open, and they're serving food, check it out. It's pretty neat. I couldn't get near the back of the mill to see where the bunkhouses were, and the repair shop, and all those other admin buildings. They were pretty old when they were abandoned a couple of years ago. I probably could bush bash there someday and check it out, but not a big concern. Nice to see that mill open again. So I'm Cactus. This is Out and About. Home from Panama in cold old Canada on the Quebec side, just across Ontario. Take care. Thanks for watching.